Good morning. Welcome to your Sunday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, ready to share some wisdom with you. And I think this fits really well for today. Hopefully it gives you some things to think about, as it did me. And our chapter for today comes from Outrageous Openness by Tosha Silver, Letting the Divine Take the Lead. Letting the Divine Take the Lead. I like that. So, let's just take a minute to settle in. Feet on the floor, grounding through the base of your spine, soles of your feet, into Mother Earth, who keeps us grounded and solid. Good morning, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. We're just grounding at the moment. Every breath you exhale, pushing those roots deeper into Mother Earth until you feel incredibly solid and at one with our Earth Mother. And every breath you inhale, opening the crown chakra in the top of your head and allowing in healing golden light. Good morning, Beth. Welcome, welcome. We're just grounding and settling in. You have a beautiful day also. I'm not sure what I'm doing with my day. Yesterday, I made Dad chocolate chip cookies, which many were promptly consumed. Vicky took some home with her. And I made, the first time ever, a sour cream raisin pie, which is a southern thing. And it's pretty darn good. So another one to add to the coffers. So we've got Beth, we've got Lisa, and we've got someone else, but I can't see who. So glad you guys are here this morning. And again, we have a chapter from Tosha Silver, Outrageous Openness. And don't fret about it being a chapter because her chapters are like 2 or 3 pages long. So, looks like someone else has joined us. Welcome, welcome. Glad everybody's here. Up, Cindy. She waves. She knows I don't get to see her unless she waves. So perfect, perfect, perfect. And I think you're going to like this chapter. This is a good one. So the title of the chapter is, What If God Were All of Us? What if God were all of us? And there are 2 quotes at the beginning. The first one is by Joan Osborne. What if God were one of us, just a stranger on the bus? Good question, right? What if the least person you think is godlike is actually God? What if? Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning. Glad you are here. This one's going to be a mind bender, I think, and I kind of like that. And the second quote is by Walt Whitman. The sidewalks are littered with postcards from God. The sidewalks are littered with postcards from God. God's everywhere, all right? So, here's the story she starts with. I once was approached by one of those online companies that send out daily spiritual messages. You know the kind. Each day you'd get a pithy paragraph about peace or contentment or meditation. They were hunting for new writers and had somehow found me. You love mind benders? Good, here we go. So their editor asked for some sample postings and I obliged. Soon I got a rather agitated call. Excuse me, but what's with all the stories? She asked in a tense voice. We want snappy universal truths that people can relate to. Our organization is about God, not all these extraneous details. If you want to write for us, keep the personalities out. Good morning, Linda. Welcome, welcome. But I couldn't. I had loved tales of the divine in regular life since I was a child. I obsessively collected them the way some people do rare wines or Barbies. Any story of a miracle or strange synchronicity held me captive. Over time, the divine and the mundane had become completely intertwined in my mind, one and the same. And that kind of fits with, good morning, Lisa, welcome, glad you're here. That kind of fits with what Thich Nhat Hanh said about the mundane, that there's spirit in everything, that washing dishes, when you're present and actually washing dishes and being with that activity, is a spiritual sacred thing. And once I heard him talk about that, it kind of changed doing the mundane things, because I was one of those people who resisted the mundane. It felt like a colossal waste of my time. But now I look at it more humbly and differently. So Tosha answered this lady on the phone. Well, what if God is the story? What if the divine is constantly igniting roadside flares to get our attention? What if there actually is a supreme organizing principle with a ribald and unbridled sense of humor? And what if we each have this ardent inner suitor who's writing us love letters every day that often go unopened? She said she had to go. Well, just as well. Some spiritual groups believe that as we evolve, all the details of our individuality are buffed away into sanitized white light sameness. Any uniqueness is derided as ego. You see this where members mimic an idea of how to be spiritual. Personal style, language, and mannerisms are erased or punished. An eerie, jargon-slinging, one-size-fits-all Stepford seeker emerges. And the other route? Well, maybe it's just the raucous celebration of God's diversity, just like in nature. The way a lush field of wildflowers bursts open every spring, each type different, colorful, and bedazzled. Just take a look at saints and mystics throughout history. Eccentric and unique as hell, the whole lot. Yes, I've read several books about some of the women mystics, and they were an interesting lot. Uninterested in following spiritual rule books, they were on fire to know the undiluted truth of their own souls. Many lovers of Jesus admit he was a straight-talking rabble-rouser who might not have been let into most modern churches. Isn't that interesting? Good morning, Diane. Welcome, welcome. The Indian saint Zapruana lived on a pile of garbage, while the mystic Laleshwari wandered through the Calcutta streets half-naked and mad with divine love. The Buddhist goddess Tara was born when a feisty princess was told by monks that she couldn't become enlightened as a woman. She proved them dead wrong. So what if the highest expression of the personal divine is you? Good morning, Joe. Precisely as you are in this very moment, in all your full, authentic, and wounded glory. Just wondering. Because I think so many of us spend a ton of time trotting out the list to ourselves of, once I fix this and this and this and this, then I'll be acceptable. Then I'll be acceptable to myself and to others and to God. That ain't the way it works. All of our yucky, mushy, imperfect, struggling stuff, that's God stuff. That's God's stuff. We are perfect exactly as we are. We are divinely perfect, humanly flawed. Divinely perfect, humanly flawed. And that's just the nature of our human beast. So maybe taking a little less of our time and effort striving to be perfect and just being who we really are instead. Warts and all, as my friend Deb said, warts and all. So what would that look like? What would your life look like if you were more really you? This is on page, the chapter starts on page 7. Cindy's liking this one. So I'm going to read that last statement again. What if the highest expression of the personal divine is you? Precisely as you are in this moment, in all your full, authentic, and wounded glory. Just wondering. And imagine how our shoulders could drop, and we could take a nice deep breath, and we could just allow, if we weren't feeling like we had to be different than we are, to be that divine expression of God. We are that divine expression of God, right here as is right now. All right? So what does that do for you? It lets me kind of exhale and sit back. I don't have to keep striving to be better, whatever better is, right? What if not so great is exactly how I'm meant to be right now? What if that is the divine expression of God? What if I'm that messenger that as I come into contact with other people, help them move forward on their path just by being who I am? Again, warts and all. I don't have to be perfect. So on this fine Sunday, when many of us go to church, etc., what if we just take some time and be that personal divine expression of God? We just are. We just are. How does that feel? How does that feel to you? That you are divinely perfect. And that humanly flawed is just what goes along with that. Divinely perfect, humanly flawed. It's okay. It's more than okay. It's as is intended. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so I'm going to read that last paragraph one more time and then cut us all loose to enjoy our Sunday. So what if the highest expression of the personal divine is you, precisely as you are in this very moment, in all your full, authentic, and wounded glory? Just wondering. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.